Tell me, what do you see or feel in this new space?
There was some shapes that were coming through at first. It almost looked like rocks, but now it's dark.
Can you look up? Is it dark because it's night, or is it just dark because it's dark and you can't see?
I feel like it's dark because it's night, and I might be sleeping out under the stars and looking up at the sky.
Nice. And can you look down at your hands? What do they look like?
I can't really see anything because it's nighttime, but I feel like I'm a man.
How old do you feel?
Mm, older teens. Maybe older teens are really young, 20, but
What is something that stands out to you the most about this scene as you're looking around? Are you with other people?
I feel like there's other people laying next to me. Two to my right and one to my left.
Nice.
And there might be a fire kind of burning down next to us, kind of off to the left by our feet.
And are you guys traveling by horse or by wagon?
Feels like we're on kind of a job. We're on like not really a stakeout mission, but we're just having to sleep here for the night.
Okay.
I think in the beginning the cliffs were like kind of like deserty cliffs with a sunset setting behind it.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel in this space?
Content. There's a camaraderie amongst the guys that we're out traveling by horse, I'm pretty sure. I don't know where the horses are though. I didn't really perceive them.
Mm-hmm. Probably just nearby. Um, so why don't you look down at your body? Can you describe what you're wearing and what you look like?
I'm like a lanky guy. I feel like I'm wearing like cowboy clothes. And we pretty much just sleep in our clothes because we don't exactly have like blankets or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to look up at the stars.
What's something that stands out the most about yourself?
I think I just enjoy this. I like sleeping out under the stars. I like the freedom. It feels open. I just seem to be, I enjoy this existence.
Nice. I'm gonna move you forward to your place of residence or your home in that lifetime. What does the outside of your home look like?
I have like weird yellow blotches kind of moving around, maybe like lime green, but they're not really forming anything.
Hey, did you not really have a home? Were you kind of just living on the run?
I feel like maybe I had one when I was younger, but I didn't particularly care for that existence, and so it's not really prevalent anymore.
Okay.
Maybe I feel like maybe I just didn't like the confining aspects of living with my family,
Mm-hmm.
and I prefer to be kind of out and free with the guys doing what the fuckery that we do,
And what kind of fuckery is that?
what boys do, whatever we feel like.
Yeah. Well, let's move forward to your job or occupation so we could see what it is, how you're spending your days and stuff. So now you are standing in your job or occupation, what is happening around you? What do you see?
I feel like we're just kind of like a gang of dudes that kind of just go out and take what we want and do what we want. Sometimes we have missions we get sent on from other people,
And who are these other people who send you on missions? What kind of missions?
like young guns, like regulators, mount up, like that kind of a thing.
Hmm. Do you know,
Like
it,
taking care of shit, taking law into our own hands and making shit right as far as anyone that wrongs us or I mean we have like a sense of justice, but we also only for a certain extent, pretty much for ourselves, you know.
hmm How did
Like
you get
someone
in?
fucks with us.
How did you get involved in this type of work?
I just saw an opportunity. They came to town and I befriended them and then used it as a opportunity to take off, leave the mundane, meaningless existence of working where I was working.
And where were you working?
Like the family in the town at the family store,
Do you
but it
know,
was just like blah.
do you know a town, the name of the town you lived in or the state that you lived in? The area, I mean.
Uh, somewhere like Arizona, New Mexico type area, I think, on the map. Maybe part of Nevada. I don't know, that whole region.
Hmm. Can you feel what your name is?
Edward is the first thing that came. Edward Mounty, Eddie, Eddie Mounty, something like that. Something that rolls off. It like gets kind of modified and shortened.
Hmm.
But I think I might have a nickname of some sort that I prefer.
Hmm. Like you don't go by your real name.
Yeah,
Okay.
like my nickname is something like Slinger, Slick, something with a SL maybe.
Hmm.
So it keeps yelling at me, Eddie Slinger. I'm Eddie Slinger.
We are now leaving this space and moving forward to an important day. Tell me, what is happening? What do you see?
I might be riding a horse. I feel movement, like I'm on horseback, kind of slowly moseying through, just outdoors.
Are you out in like out in the open or in a town?
Not near town.
Are you with other people?
Uh, my left ankle hurts really, really, really bad. Um,
Can you look down at it? What seems to have,
I felt like I was maybe riding through a little canyon type thing, like a small one though, riding between some rocks, maybe like a dried up riverbed kind of a type thing, or maybe it's just a trail. And all of a sudden, I had a piercing pain through my left Achilles tendon.
something bite you or were you shot with something?
That's what I was wondering. It felt like it got maybe an arrow.
Are you under attack or are you, are you still writing? What is happening in this scene?
I'm hearing like shouting and making like, their war calls or their battle calls, like trying to fuck with us. I didn't really perceive other people being with me originally, but seems like there actually might be. Maybe we were just a little more spread out. But maybe it feels like we're able to kind of scare them off with our guns.
Can you sense where you guys are headed? What came of that after you scared them off?
Wherever we're going, some woman kind of patches me up. I kind of have a hard time walking for a little bit. I might have to take it easy.
Can you sense where you guys are? What town or state you're in?
Arizona.
Is there anything else that stands out to you about this scene? Am I with you in this scene?
I don't know. I can't totally tell. I keep feeling you like back in one of the towns or something. And I don't think you're necessarily out running around and causing the chaos and fighting with people and stuff. But I'm not totally sure.
Hmm.
I feel like it stops me from everything for a short time, but I don't let it hold me down for long because I don't like being held down in one place for a long time.
So this injury kind of causes you to kind of convalesce in the same location until you're ready to ride again.
Yeah, I don't think for very long though.
Hmm. So do you meet up with the gang that you're in, or some of them wait with you?
The woman is somehow affiliated with like our home base and where we always live, kind of a thing.
Do you recognize her energy as someone in this present life with you?
That might be who you are.
Interesting. I had that thought.
And so you don't necessarily go out on the road with us. You're more like,
I patch you guys up when you need it.
yeah, you might actually live in town, but come out to where our little ranch home
Yeah.
base is. There's like a trust established where we know you're not gonna like snitch us out to the law.
No, I understand the role. It's like the doctor, the mob doctor.
Yeah.
I love that so much. That makes so much sense too, of why I know all of you guys and care about you guys too. That's interesting. I like that. Any other important things that stand out to you about this before we move forward to another important day?
My feet are feeling cold, but I don't know if it's from right now or from the past life regression.
Okay. Well,
I wonder
we'll
if it like somehow
your
affected.
your blood flow.
Yeah.
Hmm. We'll have to put a pin in that if that resurfaces in another, in this, then yeah. Now we are leaving this space and moving forward to another important day in this incarnation. Tell me, what is happening?
I might be, I feel like I'm hiding maybe behind a rock or up on top of a rock, like during a shootout of some sort, maybe.
Can you tell who the shootout is with or who is involved? Do these people look familiar to you or are they strangers that are shooting at you?
Mm, feels like the law, a sheriff of some sort. Um, Somebody else is hiding behind the same thing with me. I feel like I'm turning and talking to them or saying something to them. We're trying to get away. I think we're in town trying to escape. Might just be like drunken debauchery bullshit, like got in trouble in the saloon kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or someone snitched out to the law that we were there. We were not really supposed to be seen in public like that. But we were wanting to do whatever we wanted, and we felt like going and hanging out with some of the ladies. I feel like we're scattered. Our group is scattered. I'm with one other person, kind of around the side of the building, behind, I don't know, some sort of storage type of a thing, structure, wagon of some sort. I thought it was rocks at first, but it might be like barrels,
Okay.
round. I feel like we all went in different directions. We're just trying to get out of the town.
What created the commotion in the saloon?
Just typical drunken bullshit, shit talking and egos. Maybe we were gambling and someone was running their mouth. You never know with these guys, though. They got short fuses. You have to be ready to fight on a moment's notice and have each other's backs pretty much, even whenever your dude is in the wrong and acting like an asshole, because it's like a life and death thing.
It was or it wasn't in that saloon?
It is.
So did someone get shot?
uh One of my guys may have shot someone, like one of my associates.
Do you, can you name the associate who shot someone?
I keep hearing the name Henry.
Henry, that's Henry McCarthy. Henry McCarty is his real name.
I just heard Henry, and
Well,
then I
yeah,
heard
that's what I'm saying. That is his real name. Yeah.
whose real name?
Billy the Kid.
Oh,
His real name's Henry McCarty. And,
oh,
and I said the same thing in mine too, Henry McCarthy, but you got his first name. Yeah, that's his real name. And yeah. Yeah, that's exactly. I think the scene that you're in right now is that that saloon where he killed uh yeah, I'm reading about yeah, that's exactly what happened. That's funny.
yeah.
So
I don't know anything about that.
I know like it's I'm not gonna read the whole thing because I want to see what else you could pick up, but it's happening exactly. Yeah, that's funny. That's I think this is the scene we're in right now is this incident at this saloon.
Mm.
So I want to know why you were brought to this saloon incident. That's interesting.
Yeah, I feel like I think I get away, but we all have to try to go like reconvene at our property. The
Hmm.
easiest way to get away is to scatter, but we
Hmm.
kind of had to.
Yeah, the posse that was attacking them were sheriff's deputy.
Mm, interesting. Yeah.
Now we are going to move forward to another important day. Tell me, what is happening? What do you see?
I feel like I feel like maybe I kind of came home. There what I keep hearing after Billy died, it was a wake up call for me, and I kind of came home with my tail between my legs, back to my family and back to and for the most part people didn't really know the trouble I'd gotten into out in the world, because I think a lot of it happened mostly away from the town I grew up. So I was able to kind of go back there and go back to like that lifestyle that I wanted away from for so long.
Were you around Billy when he died?
Um, I feel like it was some sort of traumatic event that I had a hard time getting past or getting over. So I just kind of ran away. I think I had to travel a ways to get back to my home. And I kind of accepted that if I made it there, then that was my destiny. And I was just gonna kind of hang my gun up, so to speak, my gunslinger ways and try to just kind of live out, settle down. I feel like maybe I even get like a wife and kids and maybe take over the family store kind of a thing.
Does history remember your name?
No, I think I was able to kind of slip through the cracks.
Which leads me to my next question. Were there other people who ran with him that slipped through the cracks in history as well?
Yeah, I mean, there's some that would run and die quickly, or I feel like I was able to never be, I was involved in shit, but never really so much on the forefront to where they would remember me or my name wasn't a big one that was out. So it was able for me to kind of go back and leave that life.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. I kind of feel like that too. I feel like there's people that ran in that gang that kind of in and out of the gang doing their own thing, you know?
I enjoyed the camaraderie of it all, but I think him and I were pretty close and it was really hard to lose him. And so I just kind of was over it after that. I feel like maybe I saw him die or watched him die or somehow, I don't know, to where it was something I couldn't get out of my mind and it kind of changed me.
Hmm.
And then there's the whole not really wanting to go on doing the same thing without your friend because it's not the same.
Now, do you recall how he died?
I don't know, I feel like maybe he was shot.
Can you tell who shot him?
Um, I don't know. Uh, I feel like it's in the street. I keep like getting the feeling of like one of those like gun draw things where they like stand face to face and shoot at each other kind of a thing. But uh something about it seemed unfair. I feel like it was unjust. I don't know. I also feel like what's the whole fucking point, if it's over that quick, you can just be gone that quick.
Hmm.
I don't know. It just feels like there's like some sort of scene. I just can't tell. I feel like there's people around watching.
Now, I want you to move into the last day and the life that we are viewing. What do you feel in this new space?
Um, I feel like it might be something to do with my stomach. Definitely something in my stomach.
Is it like an illness or a trauma that happens to you?
I feel like almost a bar across. Uh, it's a weird feeling. Like right below my rib cage, there's like a bar of energy going across horizontally. At first I thought maybe I got shot. Maybe the bullet went through me that way.
Can you tell who shot you? Do they feel familiar to you?
Felt like I was gonna throw up. It's a very weird sensation.
Mm-hmm.
Almost feels like my body is like folding in half or something. I don't know how to explain it. It's really weird.
Yeah. Hmm.
Uh, Maybe our store gets robbed. I think maybe our store was getting robbed and I got shot.
Oh, okay.
I feel like maybe I was trying to defend our store. Maybe I got shot and the bullet maybe entered through my left side below my rib cage and traveled like sideways across my body and maybe stopped around the area of my liver or maybe went all the way through, but it feels like it maybe stopped before it went all the way out and just caused so much damage that I died.
Mm-hmm. Did anybody else die in this incident?
No, I think they took off.
Were you there alone?
Yeah, I think so. There may have been someone in the back, but
How old do you feel like you are?
maybe late 30s.
Now, can you feel the soul leaving the body? What does that feel like and where does it go?
Kind of float up, kind of take one last look down, and see myself laying there on the floor of the store. It's like wood flooring, dark wood. And I just kind of keep floating up until I'm just really small and then I kind of don't look back anymore and just keep looking up and floating up.
Nice. Now we will move forward and into the spirit realm and sit with your council of elders. Tell me, what do you see or feel in this space? Can they help you understand what the purpose of that life was and what the lessons you learned in that life?
There were lessons of camaraderie and like breaking away, exploring, kind of being out. There are similarities in the pattern. It kind of did the same thing in this life where, like, possibly also with the quilt business, I felt kind of confined by it for a while, so I had to do my own thing and have more freedom, kind of go out and explore all different things, but I'm kind of coming back full circle now and settling down and focusing back on the family business and ready for it, but I had to kind of go out and sow those wild oats, so to speak, to be ready to fully embrace it.
Mhm. Is there anything they think that you should have done differently?
Well, the life of being a gunslinger obviously causes trauma to others, but it was in the design of it, and there was a purpose in kind of letting yourself run free and not conform to social expectations and laws and stuff like that. I don't feel like I participated in hurting, necessarily hurting innocent people or anything. Most of the people that we would interact with, for the most part, at least with fighting and stuff, would be other gunslingers. As far as like, I mean, yeah, we would take things that we wanted or needed. And yeah, like that, isn't necessarily good, but you're not really physically hurting somebody. So although, there's questionable parts of it, but I did a good job at being present, like in the moment. I was very present in the moment for the most part in that lifetime. I didn't focus too much on the future or the past.
Do you feel like you've carried any trauma with you from this life into the current life you're living?
The trauma of the death, the gunshot wound, and the final resting place of the bullet seems to be a contributing factor to my pain in that liver region where the bullet ended, where it stopped.
Almost like your soul has lead poisoning from it.
hmm The pain that from it coming through the left side to the right isn't as much as the final resting place of the bullet is where I have a lot of pain in this life. But I've never perceived the bullet path before until now.
Can they help you understand the symbolism of that and the significance of that, why it keeps becoming a theme?
Because of unhealed trauma in that region, it continues to be a problematic region in subsequent incarnations because I've never released that trauma or fully healed from it. And so it has manifested in later incarnations of liver problems. And
So is this the origin of it, or is there other lives before this that started that has the same theme?
this might be the origin of it and might be the reason why I went into the New Mexico life with unexplained liver problems that I was trying to heal.
Well, and that's even the same region that you were in anyway in that life too.
Yeah.
And
And
it was a near parallel life because it happened around the same time period too.
mhm.
That's crazy.
I think as far as in my soul's evolution, this would happened before. And then I deposited into a similar location and timeline or, place and
Hmm.
time.
Yeah.
Uh, because of the energy there, my soul needed to be in that part of the world at that point in time for energetic reasons.
Hmm.
So that was the origin of the liver pain in that incarnation. And then it was carried on to the alcoholic lifetime and then to now.
Interesting. So now let's move forward into your healing space and see if we can remove some of this trauma that you're carrying. We are now currently in your soul's healing space. Describe what you are seeing or feeling as this trauma is leaving your body.
I just feel like a big knot of energy right there. I also don't feel like I'm in my normal healing space. I feel like I'm laying on a table somewhere, like a doctor table, but like in the quantum.
Mm. Do you sense anybody with you?
No, I feel like I'm laying on like a slab of not quartz, but like stone. And there's like stairs around me, like I'm up on like a round part in the middle and the stairs are round all the way around it. And then there's like just no walls or anything. It's just like space, blue space around me.
Huh.
I
You
still have like the knot of energy there. Okay, so the surge of source energy, like a UFO beam kind of thing. Like a beam like that, like a really big beam that trying to disintegrate the ball inside and break it up. Feels like it's starting to dissipate. I don't feel it as strongly anymore. Feels like it's slowly like turning into little tiny particles and kind of energetically floating out in a way. Feels like most of the pressure is gone.
beautiful. That's wonderful. Now, I know that the higher self could have brought forward many different lifetimes for Stephanie to see today. You chose the life where she was an outlaw in the Wild West. Why did you choose that life for Stephanie today?
She's been curious about it. Thought it would be a fun one to start with. And she's been dealing with a lot of pain in her liver region that's unexplained by other things. And that's where the energy of the pain comes from. And it has life after life. She's been searching for answers for a long time about it.
Now, what does that life have to do with the life that she's living now?
There's some parallels with the personality and behaviors, wanting to break away from the family at a young age and kind of go out and run amok and be part of the quote unquote bad people of society, pushing boundaries and doing what they want and not really being dictated by the laws of the people. And then when you get older, kind of settling down and going back. That's why she loves to sleep under the stars with nothing around. Everyone else thinks it's weird. It's because she loved doing it in that life.
And what was her purpose or mission in that life?
I think maybe it was a life about breaking away from your comfort zone and finding kind of like a freedom and finding family amongst friends, just like learning about, yeah, relationships and how you can form deep ties, camaraderie and stuff.
That's beautiful. So, is there any trauma from this lifetime that has been carried into this current lifetime?
Um, Mostly just the pain in the liver region from the death.
Was that a karmic death in that lifetime?
Maybe, but I don't think I particularly carry any kind of like guilt or trauma from,
Being an outlaw.
yeah, because
Okay.
I feel like most of the people that were harmed were also outlaws and it's part of the lifestyle. Like
Yeah.
you're getting into it. And I don't feel like I feel like maybe some others engaged in questionable morals and, like would hurt innocent people, but I didn't like it and I wouldn't really participate in that part of it. But I also couldn't stop it either.
Yeah.
If I could, I would certain things.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe I let certain people go when people aren't looking because they're innocent and just get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that, like in robberies and stuff. But
Yeah, that makes sense for sure. Now, are there souls from that incarnation that you recognize from this incarnation?
I feel like my mom might be one of my parents. My parents might be my parents. I feel my mom there.
Was your brother in that life with you?
My brother might be one of the guys that I was sleeping next to under the sky in the opening scene.
Oh, cool.
And we did it all the time as kids here in this life. We slept on our trampoline under the stars every summer, all summer.
I love that. That's funny. I don't know why I thought to ask about him. I just found myself asking about him. That's really funny.
I feel like there's a lot of souls that are in the posse. Like there's a core group, but then there's a lot that kind of come in and out of the picture.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard, fast life, so sometimes, people die and shit pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other things that your higher self would like you to know about this life that we don't already know before we move on?
Just that she enjoyed it. It was fun. The parts that were fun were fun. Yeah, there was trauma, but overall, it's fun to just let loose and be wild and do whatever you want with no restraints, no law. But that's why she's always been drawn to the movies about this stuff, especially as a teenager.
Yeah, I bet.
How did he die?
He was shot by Pat Garrett. I was trying to see if you could sense the energy because it was his friend.
It was his own friend.
Well, he was a lawmaker, he was a lawman, but yeah, they were friends. I was just trying to see
Mm.
if it was Pat who shot him, but there's also rumors that he let him go. But if you're saying that he was shot because it affected you so much, then he probably really did shoot him.
Yeah, I
But
feel like I watched him die.
because, well, the thing is, because there were many witness accounts, and I think that's what you were when you said there were people watching, because it says accounts vary as to the course of events. According to the canonical version, he entered the room. Bonnie failed to recognize Garrett due to poor lighting. Drawing his revolver and backing away, Bonnie asked, K and S, Spanish for who is it? Recognized Bonnie's voice. Garrett drew his revolver, fired twice. The first bullet struck Bonnie in the chest just above his heart, while the second missed. Garrett's accounts leave it unclear whether Bonnie was killed instantly or took time to die. And then you go on and it says, because he tried to collect the fee and the mayor wouldn't give it to him, and he refused to pay the reward. People began to claim that Garrett unfairly ambushed Bonnie. Garrett felt the need to tell his side of the story and called upon his friend, journalist Marshall Upston, to ghostwrite a book for him. And it was first published in April 1882. According, only a few copies sold following its release. And in time, it became reference for latter historians who wrote about Bonnie's life. But when you were
Hmm.
saying that he was killed unfairly, like I was like, okay, then it probably really did go down the way they say it went down. It was probably, yeah, Pat Garrett who killed him. And a lot of people thought it was bullshit how he killed him.
Yeah, whatever the circumstances were that were around it, it seemed like really unjust and yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, everything like you said. Yeah. And the other scene in the saloon, he shot and killed Joe Grant, a newcomer to the area at Hargrove Saloon in Fort Sumner, New Mexico. Bonnie moved more extensively, known as the Kid, shot and killed Joe Grant. The origin of the difficulty was not learned. According to other sources, Bonnie had been warned Grant intended to kill him. He walked up to Grant, told him he admired his revolver, and asked to examine it. Grant handed it over. Before returning the pistol, he noticed it contained only 3 cartridges. Bonnie positioned the cylinder so the next hammer fall would land on an empty chamber. Grant suddenly pointed his pistol at Bonnie's face and pulled the trigger. When it failed to fire, he drew his own weapon and shot Grant in the head. A reporter for the Las Vegas Optic quoted Bonnie as saying, "The encounter was a game of two, and I got there first." That's funny. That's what happened in the saloon.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you got that one. He killed, yeah, he actually shot him, and you got that. And it's funny that you call him Henry, like you really did know him. You knew him, like him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wasn't he wasn't William or Billy to you. He was Henry to you. That means you really like knew him personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the name that just like was overwhelmingly really loud and repeated over and over before I said it.
Well, and when I was in your life as you in that life, I kept calling him Henry too. I got him as Henry too. So yeah, he really did know him.
Mm-hmm.
I should go in there as me in that life as the doc, and see what I get. That'd be kind of fun sometime.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.